Hello students and welcome back to the continued session of heat. So we were discussing about heat and we left our topic at the discussion of temperature. So we were studying temperature. So what is temperature? It is a measure of the degree of hotness or coldness of an object. It tells us how hot or how cold any object is. And by which it is measured? It is measured by a thermometer. We were also discussing about the thermometer, which is a device used for measuring the temperature. And temperature is measured in degrees. So let's talk about a thermometer. So talking about a thermometer. This is a thermometer. You are saying this is a thermometer. Now what is a thermometer? Let's discuss. The device that is used to measure the temperature is called thermometer. It is a thin, long and uniform glass tube called capillary tube. It has a bulb at one end. A silver colored liquid called mercury present inside the bulb is used for measuring the temperature, and mercury is a thermometric fluid. It is filled inside the thermometer, that is why it is called thermometric fluid, which is actually used to measure the temperature. And thermometer, it works on the principle that heat energy causes expansion. When solids, liquids and gases, these are heated, they expand. And the expansion of any substance upon heating, that depends upon the material it is made of and the amount of heat given. Well, the extent of expansion is very less in solids while it is quite high in gases. Therefore, the expansion of liquids is usually monitored to measure the temperature. Therefore, the expansion of liquids is usually monitored to measure the temperature. So, talking about the expansion of liquids, how we get to know about the temperature from it? Actually, when the bulb of a thermometer is placed in contact with the body, the shining thread of mercury, that is the liquid, that expands and moves up in the narrow capillary tube. And we get to know the temperature by simply reading the graduation corresponding to the mercury thread. Now we are having three scales for measurement of temperature. These are Celsius scale, Fahrenheit scale and Kelvin scale. And the SI unit of temperature is Kelvin. But Celsius and Fahrenheit scales, these are commonly used for measurement of temperature, and among them too, the Celsius scale is the most widely used. We have already discussed that Celsius scale is calibrated from 0 to 100 degrees Celsius. The freezing point of water is 0 degrees Celsius on a Celsius scale, while its boiling point is 100 degrees Celsius. On the other hand, the Fahrenheit scale, it is calibrated from 32 degree Fahrenheit to 212 degree Fahrenheit. The freezing point of water is 32 degree Fahrenheit while its boiling point is 212 degree Fahrenheit. So these are two scales which are widely used for the measurement of temperature. Then we were discussing about the conversion of the temperature from one scale to the other scale. So these can be easily converted from one scale to other by using a very simple formula. This one is the formula. Here the C denotes the temperature in Celsius, F denotes the temperature in Fahrenheit and the K denotes the temperature in Kelvin. We are all aware that the Celsius scale is calibrated from 0 to 100. It is having 100 divisions in all. The Fahrenheit scale, that is calibrated from 32 to 212. It is having 180 divisions in all. And talking about the Kelvin scale, that is quite similar to the Celsius scale, having 100 divisions in all. So this formula can be used to convert the temperature from one scale to the other. C subtracting 0 over 100 equals to F subtracting 32 over 180 equals K subtracting 273 over 100. And these 0, 32 and 273, these are taken because Celsius scale starts from 0. The Fahrenheit scale starts from 32 and the Kelvin scale, that starts from the 273. And in the denominator, we have written the divisions that are available on the scale. So this is the formula, simplifying which we get C over 5 equals F subtracting 32 over 9 equals K subtracting 273 over 5. It is a quite simple formula. Whenever we want to have a conversion between Celsius and Fahrenheit, we will use the first equalism, the first two members of the relation. If we want to have a conversion between Fahrenheit and Kelvin, then we will use the last two members of the relation. And if we want to have the conversion between Celsius and Kelvin, then we will have the first and the last member of this relation and simply convert the temperature from one scale to the another. So to convert the Celsius scale into Fahrenheit scale, we will use the first two members. These are C over 5 equals F subtracting 32 over 9. Or we can simplify it further. F equals 9C over 5 plus 32. Or after rearrangement, we can also come to the conclusion C equals 5 multiplied by F minus 32 whole in a bracket over 9. So it is a task for you guys that how starting from the first formula we come to this. Quite simple, just a couple of 1 or 2 steps. And the conversion of Celsius to Kelvin or Kelvin to Celsius, that is even more simple. Temperature of a body can be easily converted from Celsius into Kelvin simply by adding 273 with the Celsius temperature. So whenever we want to convert Celsius to Kelvin, we will simply add 273 to the Celsius temperature and we will get the Kelvin temperature. Why? Because Celsius starts from 0 and 0 degrees Celsius is equivalent to 273 Kelvin. Or in other words, we can say if we want to convert Kelvin into Celsius, then simply we can subtract the 273 from the Kelvin temperature and we will get the Celsius temperature. Like for example, if we want to convert 100 degrees Celsius to Kelvin, what we'll do? We will simply add 273 to it. So adding 273 to 100 will get 373 Kelvin. So we converted 100 degrees Celsius to 373 Kelvin. Then talking about the types of thermometers, firstly we are having a clinical thermometer which is used obviously in the clinics. Basically, a clinical thermometer is used to measure the temperature of a human body and it is also called doctor's thermometer. So coming to its construction part, a clinical thermometer has a long, narrow glass tube. It is also having a bulb at one end containing the mercury. It has a scale which is marked in degree
Celsius. Now, if you carefully look at a clinical thermometer, you will find that the scale on its stem shows the temperature from 35 degrees Celsius to 42 or sometimes 43 degrees Celsius only. Why? Actually, the normal temperature of a healthy human body is 37 degrees Celsius and it never drops to 35 degrees Celsius or rise to 42 or 43 degrees Celsius unless certain drastic conditions are reached. And this is the reason why a clinical thermometer is having a range of 35 degrees Celsius to 42 or say 43 degrees Celsius. A clinical thermometer is almost the same as a laboratory thermometer, but it has a slight bend or kink in the capillary tube just above the bulb. You are seeing here a slight bend or kink in the capillary tube just above the bulb. It is to prevent the mercury temperature from falling down. That we'll discuss. So, how to use a clinical thermometer to measure the temperature? To check the body temperature, firstly, wash the thermometer with warm water or clean water or say with an antiseptic solution. Hold it firmly and give it a few jerks to bring the level of mercury below 35 degrees Celsius. Then place the bulb of the thermometer under your tongue. Keep it there for about a minute and after 1 minute, take it out and note the reading. This will give your body temperature. Now, one may get a question in his mind that why the temperature in a clinical thermometer doesn't drop when it is taken out of the mouth. Actually, when the thermometer is taken out of the mouth, the mercury in the bulb contracts as the temperature outside the body is normally less and the mercury column breaks at the kink. Thus, the level of mercury remains constant even after taking the thermometer out of the mouth. But the mercury in the stem is brought back to the bulb by giving a few soft jerks with our hands before the thermometer is used again. That is why we are advised to give a few soft jerks with our hands before using the thermometer again for some other patient. And while reading a clinical thermometer, some precautions must also be taken by the reader who is taking the reading from the clinical thermometer. So these are some precautions that should be taken while reading a clinical thermometer. So the thermometer should be washed before and after use, preferably with antiseptic solution. You can also wash it with clean water or say warm water, but preferably with an antiseptic solution. Then you should ensure that before using the thermometer, the mercury level should be below 35 degrees Celsius. If it is not below 35 degrees Celsius, you should give a few soft jerks with your hands to bring it down to 35 degrees Celsius. Then read the temperature, keeping the level of mercury along the line of sight or the eye level. You should keep it at the eye level to have an accurate reading. Also, handle the thermometer with care. If it hits against some hard object, it can break. And the most important, don't hold the thermometer by the bulb while reading it. Otherwise, it will not give the accurate reading that you want to take. Now, the mercury is actually toxic in nature. So, what if a thermometer breaks? If a thermometer breaks, it is quite difficult to dispose of the mercury. So, nowadays, the mercury thermometers are being replaced by the digital ones, the digital thermometers, which are preferred over the conventional mercury thermometers. These are very easy to use. and very easy to read as it gives the LCD display of the temperature of the person. And also it is mercury free, so no harm of the toxic material. Then comes the laboratory thermometers. Like the clinical thermometer, a laboratory thermometer is also a long narrow glass tube having a bulb at one end containing mercury. It is also marked in degrees Celsius, but the range of a laboratory thermometer is different from the clinical thermometer. The range for clinical thermometer was 35 to 42 or 43 degrees Celsius. But the range of the laboratory thermometer is generally from minus 10 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius. So to measure the temperature of say water with a laboratory thermometer, what you have to do is simply take some tap water in a beaker and dip the thermometer in the water so that the bulb of the thermometer does not touch the bottom or the sides of the beaker. It should be rightly kept in the mind that whenever we are using a laboratory thermometer, it should be kept in such a way that it doesn't touch the bottom or the walls of the beaker. Otherwise, it will not give the accurate reading. Also, it should be kept in a vertical position. The level of mercury will start rising, and after some time it will become steady. So wait till the level of mercury becomes steady, and after that note down the level up to which it is raised, and that will give you the temperature of the water. Understood? So this is how we can use a laboratory thermometer for measuring the temperature of water. We use the laboratory thermometers in the labs. The laboratory thermometers are specially devised to measure the temperature in the labs. There we have to measure the temperature in a long range. That is why the range of the laboratory thermometer is kept from minus 10 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius. While the clinical thermometers that were designed to measure the temperature of a human body, and since the human body temperature, the normal human body temperature is 37 degrees Celsius and it doesn't fall below 35 or rise to 42 or 43, so that is why that is having a small range from 35 degrees Celsius to 42 or 43 degrees Celsius only. So these were some types of thermometers that we use. I think this would be enough for today. In the next session we will be discussing the rest of the chapter that will cover the transfer of heat and the modes of transfer of heat. We will be discussing that in the next session. So, till then, take care, stay safe, stay healthy, and goodbye.